Oh, Geoff, why am I not surprised? Hello, and welcome back to Alexa's Room, where we are not lawyers, we are not medical professionals, we are not law enforcement, we are just people. People who needed a dang break, and I will explain more about that at the end of this video, but I want to get into today's news because it's been a hot minute, and I know you guys have been itching to get on with the latest and not so greatest news in regards to uh, what has been going on with this internal affairs investigation with Lieutenant Conehead Brian Tully. So this actually was released yesterday, and I'm still catching up to speed with a whole lot that has happened in the last few weeks. It looks like he's getting a slightly harder tap on the bum here than his underling, Sergeant Boo Quacky. So I guess because when you're the big boss, you're the head cheese, the head bowling ball head. I don't know. I mean, look at that shiner, right? It looks like the glare I have right now in the back. I don't know what, like, how this must be like some kind of weird angelic sign. I was having quite the day today, so I don't know why today I'm getting this weird glare, so please ignore. But I guess when you're the head cone head, you have to give up an extra day to cough up an extra cup of grab ass. So let's dive in. According to the Boston Herald, he must forfeit 6 days, folks, of accrued leave following his internal review, which was conducted by the new boss, Geoff Noble. Not that we had really any high hopes there. I mean, wasn't he brought in, handpicked by Andrea Campbell? So, I mean, you know, after John Maughan, now, I don't know. I mean, trading one bonehead for another, it doesn't really give you too much hope there. But I thought maybe his New Jersey roots, I don't know, maybe that would come out more. His Tony Soprano, who knows? But alas, here it is. The corruption continues, and so does this YouTube saga. Lieutenant Detective Brian Tully, who has been under internal review since July, was found to have made 2 violations of the state police's rules and regulations, both of which appear to be related to his supervision of Chip Proctor, his protege, who served as a case officer slash customer service representative for the Karen Reed investigation. And I mean, he's the last of the bunch. So, I mean, this is pretty much how it's been going. Fanning got off. Bukwaki had to cough up 5 vacation days, probably tripped up his plans to go to Disney with the fam bam. I don't know. So maybe that was a little bit of a bummer there, but I'm sure he'll make up for it with all the crazy overtime he's been doing, going back and forth from state trooper headquarters, harassing middle-aged women about leaving rubber duckies all over Canton. I mean, all that blood, sweat, and tears, he's got to make up for those 5 vacation days somehow. So I imagine he'll be quite all right. So Chip is last on the chopping block, and I don't really have high hopes there. So he oversaw, as we know, the Detective Bureau, the MSP, posted at the Norfolk District Attorney's Office with his buddy, Michael Meatball Morrissey, which is tasked with investigating homicides within the country's boundaries. He was removed. So this was the other thing, too, that people I think were a little confused about. I think I had made a video on this. We know Tully was also rehomed last month, demoted, where he went, who he's supervising or not supervising now. That is left to be said, at least from what I could find. So, but he has been removed from working in Norfolk County. But he's still a big player in this case, right? He's still definitely going to be a witness, obviously. And you know, this is not a good look, no matter which way you cut it. I mean, yeah, you're cutting him a break here, but I mean, I don't know if this just runs deeper. I mean, one has to think that maybe this is all connected to a much bigger picture than what we know, right now. I mean, could he be working with the feds? I mean, I highly doubt it. I feel like that would be the last bureau he would want to be collabing with at this point, right? But maybe, and this is just a theory, this is just my speculation, right? Put on our speculation Pikachu, because I don't have a hat and I'm sitting very high up right now. So, yep, my speculation Pikachu is that maybe he gets a little bit of a slap on the wrist for now, within like Eternal Affairs, whatever. And he's going to be a much bigger part into the federal investigation into Meatball Morrissey. I don't know. I mean, I don't see how those two would be connected, but I don't know. Maybe they were like, look, we can't like completely have you guys like totally write him off. We still kind of need him like being a little bit in arm's length. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. I'm just somebody who has questions about these things. And I mean, it's just so bizarre because what we know and what's come out about the substance of it is in these violations, it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't really make sense, but I guess it makes sense in this warped version of reality that we seem to be living in Norfolk County. So on Tuesday, meaning yesterday, the MSP issued a personal order indicating two infractions that he let employees make inappropriate text message exchanges about the subject of their investigation, which we know what was said, and we are not going to repeat those ugly, nasty things because we heard them 1.5 million times during the Karen retrial by Chip, so we're just gonna sail past that. But he failed to properly evaluate his employees' own negative performances, and we're gonna read about that in a bit. The first A Class B violation states that Tully on Feb 1 did fail to conform to work standards established for his rank, title, or position by failing to supervise employees who were involved with inappropriate text messages relative to an ongoing unaliving investigation. And if you, again, don't know what they're referring to, that was that little text group chat that Chip and his buddy, I think it was DeChico and Bukwaki, and they were hearting stuff and getting all cute with each other and talking smack about Karen Reed, but also talking smack about the medical examiner as well, too, Scory Bello. So no slap on the wrist there, no pat on the bum, nothing. This was the day that Proctor testified actually in front of the grand jury. So this was the day that Tully found out about all the disgusting things that Proctor had said, all the unprofessional and regrettable things that he had later admitted to or later had to admit to on live television for millions of people to see around the world about Karen Reed. And that afternoon, Tully, Bukwaki, and Fanning, all of which were under internal affairs investigation at one point or another, were hanging out. So this is Fanning. This is Bukwaki. I have no idea who this guy is. I imagine he's another douche canoe. So they all have the same haircut, except for Tully. He's probably envious over here, being like, oh, I remember the good old days when I had Just for Men was more than a fevered dream. But there he is again. So with Bukwaki, with those shoes, the matching shoes. What was that clip? Was it him and It was him and Bukwaki, right? Or was it him and Fanning? Where they were exiting the courthouse. It was one of the Karen Reed hearings, I believe. And we saw them like walking out, like pretty much like twinning. The Bobbsey twins. It's hilarious. And the same freaking shoes. And look, you know, I wear the same shoes. I'm not judging you. And those are nice shoes. They are nice shoes. But I'm just saying. I mean, you guys are practically twinning right here, too. You got the same color scheme going. The only thing you're missing is you're Just for Men up here. So I don't know, but better buffed than not buffed, right? They were all well aware of what, Proctor had said, didn't care, went out for a drink, right? Because that's what you do. And that's why we are where we are at today for that. And that's just the one part of it, right? Because there's more, there's always more. The second A-Class C violation states that Tully, on February 1st, May 6th, and May 10th, did fail to recommend remedial or disciplinary action for inefficient, incompetent, or unsuitable employees by giving praise in several anchors of the employee's evaluation system, otherwise known as EAST, despite evidence to the contrary, and failing to document negative performance. The infractions are specifically based on the conduct of Trooper Chip Proctor, who described his actions as regrettable and unprofessional when questioned about them on the stand at Karen Reed's unaliving trial earlier this year. Yada yada. So this is all the stuff that we know. And just kind of recapping here. So yeah, we still haven't heard again about Chip. All we know is that he is still on unpaid leave. Whether or not that is going to change in the weeks and months to come, who the heck knows? Are we even going to have a trial in January? That might very well happen based on from what I've been hearing and what I've been catching up on from the hearing that happened last week. So who the frick knows? The clock is definitely ticking. Like, why did Tully wait until 5:45 to give the green light to the CERT team to search 34 Fairview? Remember, it was like, let's wait until it gets like really freaking dark and then we'll send the experts in to see if they can recover anything, see if any more taillight pieces reveal itself, because nighttime would be the best time to do that. Why Proctor wasn't disciplined at all those spelling mistakes, yes. And not only the spelling mistakes, but people weren't interviewed for months, right? And not only that too, but I have questions, and like, I don't know who can answer this for me. If you can, out there, please, I would love to know, because this has been bothering me so much. But how in the heck was he able to investigate a cold case with Kevin Albee, brother of Brian and Chris, both witnesses, in the Karen Reed case, in the Karen Reed investigation? How was he able to be assigned to a cold case while this was happening? You know, I could see, okay, like they worked together years ago, still conflict of interest much, right? But why was he allowed to collaborate and work closely with somebody related to Brian Albert? It's like, forget all the other connections, right? The Colin Albert, the Chris Albert connection, forget that for a second. He had a direct connection with a Canton police officer who was brothers with the homeowner where this crime took place. After Canton recused themselves. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Like, why is nobody talking about that? Why is nobody talking about that? I would just, like, for me, that's a huge freaking deal. It's a huge, huge freaking deal. Turtle Boy actually shared this clip, and I was looking for it, but I figure, you know, I'll just play it from his blog because it's right here. And a couple of people have posted this already, but this is in direct contrast with what he testified on June 12th when he said he had a long discussion, like, sit down, Chip, sit on my lap. Let's have a heart-to-heart. Let's have a father and son chat here. Like, that is the vibe that I got from this testimony, right? It's like, dad's mad. You stole his car keys and took the car out when you weren't supposed to. You stayed out past curfew. That is the extent of what this long discussion feels like. So let's take a listen real quick.
Proctor's personal phone.
Yes.
And upon your being made aware of those text communications, Lieutenant, At some point over the course of this case, or at some point over the course of this investigation, did you become aware of certain text messages on Trooper Proctor's personal phone?
Yes.
And upon your being made aware of those text communications, what, if anything, did you as a supervisor, what, if anything, did you do?
I had a long discussion with him about the content and nature of them. I expressed my displeasure as unprofessionalism and the content of them, and then I reported up my chain of command.
Was he admonished in any way?
He was by me at that conversation, yes.
But he wasn't. Except, though, according to this internal affairs investigation, he wasn't. He wasn't. I mean, maybe you had a little fireside chat with him, right? Daddy's mad, and I guess that was the extent of it. Like, you're grounded for, I don't know. You're grounded for a week. No buffings for you. In fact, he actually received a positive performance review. So this is what happens, guys, right? This is what happens. You get congratulated. You get the participation trophy. Except now, the public knows about it. Now the public knows about it. And now, because the public knows about it, Team Karen Reed knows about it. And the feds know about it. So there's that. But yeah, 6 days. It's a big fat joke. Is it funny? No, of course it's not. But you know, it's like, it's so comical. It's so theater right now. All of this stuff that has unfolded over not even just the last couple of weeks, but the last, gosh, like 2 years, 3 years now, right? We're gearing up on like 3 years of this. You have to laugh. You have to laugh. And I can only imagine for the folks who were actually involved in this, you know, i.e. Karen Reed, her team, her family, right? Heck, even the people who were close to John, Officer John O'Keefe, who know the truth and believe in the truth. You have to laugh. Because the answer is right in front of your face. This is gaslighting 101. They should teach a class in this. In the MSP. They all act like they're politicians. It's so disgusting. So this is what the disciplinary or personnel order looks like, right? And we're going to stick with Geoff because you know what? Geoff, you lost my respect. I mean, you already lost it. You're from Jersey, no offense. No offense, I'm from New York. No offense, I mean, I love The Sopranos, so like that, you know. You got that going for you, but still. Geoff. Detective Lieutenant Brian P. Tully, I guess that's Peter, right? Pietro. Division of Investigative Services, Office of the Division Commander, having waived his right to trial by trial board for violating Article 3.7.6 and 5.8.2 of the rules and regulations governing the Department of State Police, is hereby ordered to comply with the following disciplinary action. Sounds serious until it's not. Detective Lieutenant Conehead, on or about Feb 1, 2024, did fail to conform to work standards established by his rank, or for his rank rather, title or position. This occurred when Conehead failed to supervise through proper corrective action SPDU Norfolk members who were involved with inappropriate text messages relative to an ongoing unaliving investigation. This action is in direct violation of Article 5.8.2. This is a Class B violation. So I actually want to look up these rules for a second to see exactly what the Rules and Regulations Handbook says. Aha! And not to mention, like, I think this last one, this is what, page 10? I just want to scroll up for a quick second. This has been... like, this has not been updated. If this is the, like, most recent one, since 2001. That's over 20 years. Like, things change, right? Not only within departments, but the law changes, right? We get smarter. We're supposed to be progressing, right? Evolving. Advancing. In our skills, our knowledge, our technology. Growing as a society. And this thing has not been, if this is the latest edition, since January 31st, 2001. That's problem number one, in my opinion. But let's see what this article 5.8.2. So, unsatisfactory performance may be demonstrated by a lack of knowledge of the application of laws required to be enforced. Well, I don't think there was a lack of knowledge, but more of lack thereof effort. An unwillingness or an inability to perform assigned tasks. The failure to conform to work standards established for the member's rank, title, or position. The failure to take appropriate action on the occasion of a crime, disorder, or other condition deserving state police attention, or absent without leave. I mean, it seems like yes, 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 and yes. Yes, exactly. Complete and utter violation. Great, cool, awesome. Sounds good to me so far. But then, I mean, we already know the outcome of this, so, you know, we already spoiled the ending of this great American novel, right? Detective Lieutenant Tully, on or about Feb 1, 2024, May 6th, May 10th, did fail to recommend remedial or disciplinary action for inefficient, incompetent, or unsuitable employees by giving praise in several anchors on the EES, despite evidence to the contrary and failing to document negative performance. This occurred when Detective Lieutenant Tully, he was busy buying his boys a beer, right? This occurred when Detective Lieutenant Tully failed to properly evaluate members and did not properly document negative performance in the EES Make Note system. This is a Class C violation, so it sounds like really big, really bad, because it is. The whole thing is just horrible. Horrible. Side note, I just bought, this is gonna go into my story later, but I just bought the entire complete season of the show on DVD because you cannot stream it like straight through anywhere. And I had to get my Brandon and Kelly on, and it made me happy because I grew up watching it. No, not when it was alive and running. I was only like 5 years old at the time. But when I used to come home from school, I would watch SoapNet reruns, and I'm done digressing. So back to this. So in result of his actions, Detective Lieutenant Tully shall forfeit 6 days of accrued leave. G-off. D-noble. More like G-off the nobleless. But yeah, it was so funny because I kept scrolling through it. I'm like, is there more to this? Like, am I missing something? Is there a page missing? No, it's just the one page. And it's just the one lettering. Sorry. And they couldn't even make it a full week, right? Like, not even a full week of accrued leave, right? Right. Couldn't even do it. 6 days. 6 days. And with all the overtime, it's like these guys don't care. They don't care. They don't care about justice. They don't care, but we do. People like you and I do. And that's why I came back. So thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you who have been very, very patient with me. I know this is a short one, but I'm trying to ease my way back into things. And I know there is a lot of news coming out over in the next days and weeks to come. Not only with Karen Reed case, but Turtle Boy's case and so many other cases that I want to cover. A lot is going to be changing here on this channel. So before we go, with that being said, let me do my little closing and then I'll go into my little ending rant for those of you who want to stick around. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed today's news. make sure, I mean, what's there to really enjoy? I just hope that my rants and commentary can break you out of your daily grind and all that. Cup of grab ass, right? And pull you out of whatever you're going through. Because that's the point, you know? It's like, I just want to hopefully bring some joy, some laughter, so we can laugh together and get through all of this, right? Get through all of this crazy, cray nonsense. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because that tells the algorithm that this is newsworthy news, and it is. It is, because this is crazy. This is nonsense. Conehead gets away again. I mean, yeah, he got rehomed, and that feels kind of good, but it's like, in the grand scheme of things, is that really gonna hurt him too much? No. Until the feds come a knocking, and you know, we just don't know. It's a waiting game, and I have every bit of faith in the U.S. Attorney's Office to do the right thing, because so far they've been pretty clutch and kind of hitting every single thing that's been going on in Massachusetts over the last over the last few years, really. So I have every bit of confidence, and we just need to be patient with it. We all know that the ending to the story is going to be a happy one, as happy as it can be, and hopefully it brings some closure to, you know, Karen Reed and to even the O'Keefe family too, right? Hopefully it brings some peace to everybody, and we can all learn something from this. I know I am. So that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Now, for those of you who are still sticking around, I do want to give my deepest apologies for kind of showing up on my community tab and being like, hey, I'm going to jump in tomorrow, video coming soon. And I had every single intention of doing that, but it's been hard the last couple of weeks, just with work, balancing that. It's very high stress, very high anxiety, but I've also kind of looked at things in a slightly different perspective, and I needed the time off, not necessarily from you guys. You guys are amazing. You inspire me to keep going, and to believe in myself that, you know, I can do what I want to do. And I hope that I can do that for you guys too, is you don't have to feel stuck. But some days I do feel stuck, and it's just been really hard. I've struggled with my mental health for a very long time, and I do go through periods where, you know, I might be on a higher high, and I might, you know, share things, and I have every intention of showing up and giving you guys what you deserve. You know, you deserve this content. You deserve to, you know, have somebody to help you get through your day. And sometimes I can't be that person because I don't know how to be that person for myself, and that's pretty much why I've been kind of absent for the last 2 weeks. And I know there's been so much going on with the Karen Reed case, and, you know, I want to make sure that I, not only just for, you know, the entertainment aspect of, you know, creating content and you know, laughing together about the ridiculousness of it, but also bringing things back to what's important. And for me, this case is very important to me, because it's about so many things, much more than just, you know, the innocence of a woman, but, you know, of all of our rights as U.S. citizens. And me stepping away has really helped me understand why this is so important to me and what I want to do with this channel going forward. So I'm not going to be stepping away, and I will be back more and more, and things will be changing more so in my, like, personal life that will allow me to open up more to you guys and create even more content. It might take a little while, but we're gonna get there. And yeah, I appreciate you just being amazing and patient. And if you guys are ever having a bad day, or a bad week, or a bad month, right? Bad months, going through something, just know you're not alone. You're not. You're not. I know it's not always easy to open up to people, and share the truth. And I know a lot, you know, it's like people don't need to know everything. And I believe in privacy, keeping your personal life private. But I just wanted to share that because I don't want to leave you guys hanging because you don't deserve that. And I do care about you, and I do appreciate the absolute heck out of all the amazing support you guys have given me over the last several months. And I just want to give more. So I appreciate you allowing me to take this time for myself and to get some more clarity and get back in the groove of things. So, we'll be back on our regular schedule, whatever that means and looks like, but just expect more. And thanks for sticking around with me. I really appreciate it. All right. Have a good night.